Last episode, we did kind of a part one of 2021 summary, a wrap-up review. And now that we got you, Jack, and then we got you, Dominique, for a continuation for part two tonight, you know what I'm saying? Let's just hit it up first. Joe Budden for 2021, man. Let's do it. What you got, man?
Oh my God, bro. Listen to me, man. Like, to me, in my personal opinion, bro, Joe Budden is honestly one of the most interesting people in this internet culture, in my opinion, dog. Like, I don't even listen to the Joe Budden podcast like I used to, but the moment where him and his two co-hosts were on air airing out their grievances with each other, like, you couldn't have scripted that shit any better, dog. Like, that was must watch TV on YouTube.
Yes.
if that's even a word. Like, Dominic, are you familiar with this situation at all?
Yeah. I haven't thought about it in a while, but yeah, I remember it happening a while back, right?
So just quick little background on Joe Budden here, right? Like I'm a big hip hop fan.
Yeah. Oh, I'm familiar with his music.
Yeah, like I came of age during the mixtape era. Like, aside from Pump It Up, like Joe Budden was the rap superhero, dog. Like, Joe Budden was the guy on these mixtapes that was rapping his heart out. If Joe Budden was white, and I know this might be controversial, okay? What I'm gonna say is very controversial right now, Donovan, and we might get some heat in the comment section, but this is just my personal opinion. If Joe Budden was white, he'd be Eminem.
Oh shit.
And I'm saying that in terms of what his lyrical content was and the way that he rapped about his life and his experiences in life. He wasn't a gangster rapper. Joe Budden was like the first black emotional artist that was okay with embarrassing himself in public. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work for him, though. The industry didn't accept him because we didn't want a self-righteous rap superhero. We didn't want that. Not in the early 2000s. In the early 2000s, we wanted you to look like Jay-Z. We wanted you to be like 50 Cent or Ja Rule or Nelly.
Yep.
We didn't care about what you had to say. We cared about what your music sounded like, right?
Right.
This is Joe Budden as a good guy trying to save hip hop, and I was there for it. Mood Music 2 is probably one of my favorite mixtapes that I've ever heard in my life. Like, that got me through some rough ass times. It still gets me through some rough ass times. I'm saying all of that to say this right here. Joe Budden was the butt of every joke related to hip hop up until this year, 2021. Between Love and Hip Hop, being on there fucking pilled up, getting punched in the head by Consequence, getting punched in the face by Wu-Tang, and holding a fucking stake over his eye after it happened.
God damn.
All of the women that he been with, again, Pump It Up being his legacy and never getting paid for that song before. All of the escapades of Joe Budden were front and center. Joe Budden is a guy that we feel like we know, even though we don't know him, because everything has been in public. He was the first rapper that made it okay to be corny and made it okay to be on the internet like that. I'm saying all of that to say the moment where he told Rory and Mal, so what?
Villain origin story right there.
Pure villainy, bro. Pure fucking villainy. Like, that was his Thanos that moment right there of undoing everything that came before that. And from that moment on, you had to take Joe Budden seriously as a figure in media and hip hop culture.
Yep.
It took him sacrificing his best friend and his co-host for almost 5-6 years in order to elevate his platform to the point now where he can be taken seriously and no longer be Pump It Up Joe Budden. Now, he's podcast mogul Joe Budden. You see what I'm saying? He's independent YouTuber Joe Budden now. Nobody's saying shit about Pump It Up. Like, to me, like, that just has to be one of these fucking moments that sticks out. Like, I think I said this on our Kang the Conqueror kind of review here, but Joe Budden is a walking, living representation of every person who's on the internet. The reason why people hate Joe Budden the way that they hate him and think of him in the terms that they think of him is because we see ourselves in him.
Damn.
Every person on Twitter is a fucking sociopath. Every person on Twitter is right about everything, smarter than everybody else, can fight better than everybody else. All of these things. Joe Budden speaks directly to these people on a weekly basis on his podcast. And even though you don't like him, you motherfuckers still listen to him and still get mad about the shit that he says on his podcast.
Oh, man, they be lighting his ass up in the comment section, bro. Talk about heel heat.
Oh my God. And the thing is, guess what he does? The very next week, records another podcast. Records another 2 podcasts, another Patreon. Like, it's getting to the point where a couple years from now, if he still keeps his head on straight, Joe Budden is going to be Howard Stern of hip hop.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, bro, you got to be the bad guy to win. You got to do it. You have to be the bad guy in order to secure the bag and everything like that. When he told Maul, so what? That Jay-Z story about him waiting 15 years to look Jay-Z in the eyes and explain why he didn't like Jay-Z rapping over Pump It Up, and Jay-Z telling him, so what? And then your man laughed at that? Like, bro, you know how long he probably was waiting to tell Maul that story?
Yeah. You know how much that eat him up at night, like, as an artist, going through the industry 15 years? Oh my God, dude. Like, that was a moment. Man. That was like Rory. That was literally the whole YouTube. Rory and Maul fired from Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden going on Instagram Live. People, want to know why. All that, dude. That was a moment this summer.
And then the next episode, the very next episode, he's on there with his accountant, and his accountant is telling him why he was right for firing them, dog. Like, come on, man.
If you start another podcast, I will see you in court.
Look, I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, that's the kind of shit that, like, just gets me kind of hyped, dog, because it just shows, like, as we continue on and being connected to everything that's going on 24/7, bro, like, the decline of morality is just going to spring up more people being able to profit off of it. And Joe Budden is the guy that's at the forefront of that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, he rejected that Spotify deal, and I know those other two are like, how much money was involved with that Spotify deal? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm fighting for artists. I'm fighting for, the individual. I'm fighting for us. And
no, you wasn't.
No,
you wasn't. You know what I mean?
You buried your friends in order to get to that next level, man. And that's what it was, essentially.
Bro, superheroes wear capes, but villains wear capes too, bro.